Hey guys, Bob here. Today I want to talk about an annual event held here in North Carolina called Mopars at the Rock. Now, this event obviously is for Mopars only, and it's held in Rockingham, North Carolina. It's held at the drag strip, and it's been a pretty good event over the years. There's been some hits and misses with the economy and different things going on. There's been some lean years, but most of the time it's a pretty good event. But years ago, it was held at the round track, the NASCAR track right across the street. And I went to that event. I think it was only held there 1 year. I believe it was 86. And I have some Polaroids I took from that event. And back then, they would let you go out on the round track and drive your hot rod out on the round track. And I've got some Polaroids where I hitched a ride in the guy's Challenger. So this is my tale of back in the day when this muscle car movement was first starting to catch back on. They're restoring the cars and, the crappy cars they made in the 80s. So people went back to the muscle cars. So enjoy this little walk through time, folks. Hey guys, here is the old photo album. I stored these old Polaroids in it. Gosh, I guess most of these are dated May of 86, so 35 years ago. Now there's a lot of photographs of some of the drag races that went on at Rockingham and even some from Piedmont Dragway. But what I want to talk to you about today is the Mopars at the Rock show. We've been talking about Mopars at the Rock. And this car here was a, as you can see, Plymouth Fury cross ramp. I believe that's a 65 426 wedge, not a Hemi, 426 wedge cross ram. And let's see what else we can find. I'll get into some of these drag racing photos on another episode of this, but what we're doing today is the Mopars at the Rock. So let me scroll on through here a little bit. There's a lot of stuff. This is the Piedmont show. Piedmont Dragway has a Mopar show also. Pretty cool photographs of that too. Okay. No, this is still Piedmont. I'm not sure. Okay, this was done. They had a show at Raleigh also. Here we go. All right, this NASCAR car, number 42, is a Plymouth Belvedere, 66, 67, not sure. It was, and here's a picture of the engine, the Hemi with the bathtub intake. It was, and that was the first year I went to the Mopars at the Rock. They had it at the Speedway, the round track, the NASCAR track. North Carolina Motor Speedway is what it was called back then. And they let everybody go out on the track. Here's one of the kit car, Polaroid Roadrunner kit cars, and some of the show cars. And you can see the Speedway in the background. I think they only did that maybe 2 years. I think they only did it 1 year, and I was there that year they did it. And they had a bunch of Superbirds would show up at these events back in those days. Now when you go to these shows, rarely do you see, maybe see one or two, Superbird Daytona. That's the Daytona there. But back in the day, it would draw 20 of these things. And here's another picture. The Winged Warriors. It's pretty cool cars. I'll try to slow down and go over these a little slower for you. And there's a guy that had his CUDA out on the track. Superbird coming in pit road. I think they gave you 2 laps and they wave you off. But let's see what else we got here. That's my buddy Don. He's standing by 7300 Hurst. Known that cat forever. We got a little nickname for him. I call him Puddin'. It's got something to do with one of our bosses we had at one time. We used to work at Western Auto together. And we called the boss Puddin', so I started calling him that. But anyway, 300 Hurst. This was a beautiful car. I still remember this car to this day. Very nicely done. Some Chargers. There's a 68. This is like a Super B. A 70 Super B or an RT. And some engine bay shots here. Now this gentleman here, I asked him when they were going on track, I asked him if I could ride in his car. It was a 440 black on black Challenger RT, and that's me taking a photo of a Superbird coming up behind us. And this is on the racetrack. Here we are coming down the front stretch, coming out of turn 4 down the front stretch.
And that's us going down pit road as we were headed out on the track. And I'm doing this with a Polaroid, so I had to wait to let the film develop before I could take another one. There's that same Superbird back behind us. He says he got up to 100 miles an hour. It felt like we were getting it at one time. And there's some more cars out on the track. And they did that one year. They would, I guess they started having it at the drag strip from then on. And that's pretty much all the shows now held at drag strips, it seems like. But there you go. The rest of this stuff is a different show. I'll get into that with you later also.
Hey folks, hope you enjoyed that. That's my little walk through memory lane with the Mopars at the Rock event that, like I say, I've been going to for all these years. So back in those days, that's all we had was Polaroids and maybe a 35mm camera. So we didn't have cell phones and all that kind of stuff. So this is what you had back then. Hope you enjoyed that little trip through memory lane.